Oakland, California. We've got MC, performing artist, battle rapper, Passwurdz. He just recently went viral with a new battle rap comedy skit, which is humans versus the AI. But he has a long history in hip hop as a battle rapper and as a recording artist. We're going to bring him in and talk to him about his career, his recent viral moment, and more. Let's bring him in. Work, but every now and then you've got something like the Bleacher Report moment, or right
Yeah,
now the human versus the AI viral moment.
right.
Talk to us about this moment that's happening still right now, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, man. And yeah, I think those are really interesting projects that me and my guys. I'm a part of a team called the Rap Off Battles here on Instagram. Is the Instagram page. It's founded by a very close friend of mine named Illmaculate, who's also a battle rapper, also a songwriter. He's really the one that kind of had this idea about bringing battle rap and animation together, and he really he really brought me on as a writer, and originally, some years ago, and now it's really us together. It's me, Ilmac, our boy Frack, our boy Bo Lewis. So the AI project that we just did was actually in a collaboration with Rap Off and Bo Lewis, because he has a play called The Co-Founders Musical, which is about um, it's about like the Bay Area tech world, and how I don't want to give away everything about his play and his musical, but it's a musical. It involves tech in the Bay Area. AI obviously is a part of that. And they had this idea, like, let's have human versus AI, and see how it goes. The one thing that's funny about that project is that it's not actually AI that is writing those raps were not come up with by AI. That's Illmaculate with a voice changer, everybody. You know what I mean? And then it's not a secret. It's not something that we're trying to keep a secret or anything.
But you
A
can't
lot.
tell nowadays. Nowadays the AI has gotten so advanced that
Yeah,
you don't know if that's the new, right?
yeah. And I don't think we're that far away from that kind
Nah,
of.
bro, that's like the next time you and I sit down, it's gonna be the real AI verse. You know what I'm saying?
Could be. Yeah, but it's a really fun project. Um, it's just different ways of creating content using skills of different battle rappers, and just kind of showcasing the different lengths that this art form can sort of go. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
I might move a little bit. I think the lighting might be
yeah,
better. There we go.
yeah. They both look dope. They both have like different effects, but it looks good.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the Rap Off collective of artists. There's
yeah.
so much talent there, right? Immaculate, yourself, Frack. How do you decide, amongst each other, or how does that go about? Because any of you could have dropped that verse. You all have different styles, right? But you're all battle rappers, very talented with the pen. You know what I'm saying? How does that happen with, those moments where it's like, we've got this concept for human versus AI,
Right.
and whoever, you guys come together and say, I think you're the one that's going to be the human. I think you're going to be the AI. How does that creative process happen?
Yeah, that's a good question. It kind of changes depending on the project, depending on the sort of viewing experience that we want the viewer to have. For this project, what's interesting about this project is, this is not really a secret either, but I didn't even write my material. They just brought me on as basically an actor to
Yeah.
just recite raps that they wrote. And so everything, when we do these projects, for example, the Bleacher Report or the Kraft Cheese one we did, when we do those projects, we write everything together.
Wow.
So we're in a writing room, which is Zoom. We're on a writing Zoom, and we write everything. So it's not like I'm writing for one character and then someone else is writing for one character. We just write for everything together. And it has to be kind of cohesive. We want it to be, we're not necessarily worried about like a winner or loser, but we are thinking about messaging. And so with this one, I think they just, they kind of brought me in last minute. They were like, "Hey, can you, do you think you could do it?" I just had a battle this weekend in Houston, and so I've been kind of
You're
busy.
very, very active. For people that don't know, or just to make sure that it's clear, Passwurdz is a very active battle rapper touring the United States in all manner of rap battle, league rap battles, platform rap battles,
That's right.
everywhere. He is highly in demand.
Hey, hey, you said it. But yeah, it is. It's professional battle rapper definitely, and it just had a game. We all are, Frack, myself, Immaculate. We're all battle rappers, and we bring on other battle rappers. Sometimes as writers, sometimes as voice actors. We will bring on. I know we brought on like Geechee Gotti, My Verse, Real Sick to do voices. It just makes sense. We have budgets and we hire them. We're not just asking for favors. We're really hiring them to do that. And so, yeah, with this one, they wanted me to do the voice. Some of the cartoons that I did where I was the voice on were like pretty popular. So like a long time ago, we did like Mailman versus Trump cartoon during like the Trump and Biden election.
Yeah.
And it was pretty popular. And so I think ever since then, there's kind of good places to insert me in.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. And then, you have a presence as a battle rapper, so it probably made sense for you to be the battle rapper, the battle rapper versus the AI. It's really, really, really dope the way that the whole project came together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you, man. It's really exciting. And we're working on other stuff too. We're working on a top secret project right now that we're really, really hoping. We've been working on something for like I think like maybe 4 years
Wow.
or something, 3 4 years. It's a TV show. That's all I can really say. But it is something, and we've been
That's
working
dope.
really hard on it. We've been pitching it. We just finished the script for pilot and submitted it to something, and yeah, it's very interesting. So really hoping that does something.
Man, best of luck on that project. I know that those things, you gotta wait for it to happen before you can share the details. But
Yeah.
Godspeed on that project. I think that there's a lot of space where hip hop has grown so much to where it's just accepted as part of mainstream culture in addition to the culture. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of room still for different ways for this to be entertaining,
Right.
and to do things outside of good rap records or
Hmm.
battle, just straight up underground battles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creativity that can happen nowadays.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
if you're a rapper, you're a writer. So if you can write, you can write. You can write a song, you can write a story. You can write a verse, you can write a story. So it's just a different way of sort of exercising these skills that we've all developed over the years of doing this.
Yeah. If you could share with us maybe some insight on, as a battle rapper crafting a rhyme, as a songwriter crafting a song, as a content creator, you creating rap content. The different Are there differences? What's different for you?
Well, when I'm making content, I'm always making it with the guys, really. And so I'll start with that. I was talking about the Zoom room. You know what I mean? And it's really fun. I mean, those are some of the funnest times that I have, man, is on the Zoom with those guys. Like, that's some of the most laughingest. It'll take us. Sometimes we'll be on there for a little too long. You know what I mean? But sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we'll sit on there for an hour just talking, just talking, talking jokes, telling jokes, making fun of each other or something, and then we'll be like, all right, we should get to this, and then but it takes that sometimes to sort of get the wiggles off,
Yeah.
and to just free your mind and be silly. Like it really takes being silly a little bit, but also like because we have this craft that we've all been working on for such a long time, it's dialed in and it's with a purpose and all that. Um, so yeah, the content creating is definitely with and some of those projects we do, like for example, for you know, um, I don't know if I should say, but I'll just say for the corporate, when we do stuff for like corporations,
Yeah.
the corporations are they can be pretty specific about what they want and even more specific about what they don't want. And
Yeah.
so we have to fit things within a pretty tight frame. So it can be a little challenging, even frustrating at times. But it's another exercise. We have to make it interesting. We have to make it funny, make it dope. Like have to make like dope as in lyrical and creative integrity, but also
Yeah.
make it fun, not like cringy. So that's definitely the biggest challenge with that. But it's still fun. And then yeah, writing music is kind of similar. Like there's a little bit of a runway for me, at least personally, like, of having to be a little like silly and sort of play with different flows and ideas. And the music just always tells me what to say.
Yeah.
And I don't really just put random raps that I don't really have random raps like in my phone anymore. Like I used to just write verses and try to fit it over some guy's beat that somebody sent me, and now I'm in a space which I think is really what it should be as an artist, which is where you're creating something with somebody else. Like my album Flowers, for example.
Yeah.
That was I feel really confident just saying that that's like that's a tight ass album.
Yeah.
And I don't feel cocky saying that because it wasn't just because I was rapping good on it. It was because it was a whole collective of people. We all were contributing to it. And so I love that. I love the process of creating music and in the studio. There's really nothing like having an idea and then making it real and then having it sound like how you thought. It's pretty tight.
Yeah. And Flowers is such a beautiful album.
Thank you.
It's not a collection of just songs that you kind of like a mixtape. It's an album from
Yeah.
beginning to end, well crafted beats, bridges, interludes, conceptual songs, beginning to end, and very vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Which for a battle rapper may be hard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not for me, honestly. Like all those songs, and it was really that was what I needed to say on that album. But I want to shout out to Grand National, my crew, my team, my group. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Allen, Monty Draper, Brookfield Deuce, and then everybody who was on the album. Um, Brian Simmons, who is part of Grammy-winning group Fantastic Negrito. He was the music director. He played on pretty much every 7 songs or something. It's like 11 songs. I mean, he played on 7 of them. He plays keys. And he was just sort of helping the direction of the song, making it sound more cohesive. So yeah, that was really important. And making music now, I'm working on an album. Writing for a battle, so I just did one, and so for the last 6 weeks, 2 months, I've been super locked in. I've been in the house. I haven't been going out. I've been, doing parent stuff and grinding and working on this music and shit and doing a million things. And then I'm sitting down and I'm writing raps and I'm freestyling. I'm thinking of ideas. I'm watching different battles, just getting inspired. And, it's definitely, that is a super long runway for me sometimes. Like I have to get into the mode of wanting to why do I want to tear this man's head off? Like why do I hate him? I got to figure out why I hate him. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And,
yeah, you have to have something that's
yeah.
that makes you want to do it. Cuz well, one, rap battles are a very well established thing now, right? So it's like, and kind of and they go hard. It is aggressive. It is
Yes.
aggressive, right? So you have to kind of be ready for that.
Yeah. And you have to be ready for, you got to be ready for somebody to bomb on you. You got to be ready for somebody to have the entire crowd going, ah, look at you. You know what I mean? And you have to just live with that, And, I've been doing that for a long time, this battle rap thing. Like, I was doing it when you were walking up to a venue and signing up and freestyling over beats that,
Yeah.
like, you got 5 people in the same day and you have no idea who it was, and you might win like $200 at the end of it. And then now I'm rapping a cappella. It's 3-minute rounds, eat for 3 rounds. So it's like, you know what I mean? And you're sitting there memorizing and practicing and writing different things and taking angles, and you know who your opponent is, so you're talking about him specifically. It's a whole thing. And it's funny because you're always like thinking, or at least I am, I'm always like, what are they gonna say to me? It's like, well, they're about to say something crazy. They're gonna try to go over there and completely embarrass me. What are they gonna say? So it's a really different kind of writing process than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, those 3 different
Yeah.
ways in which you write and use your skill sets. Given that you have the unique experience of being in hip hop through different like battle rap eras, can you share with us what you've seen, like what you've seen change, the good and the bad?
Uh, yeah, I mean that's just a wild question because it's just so much,
Yeah.
just from, like, logistically to the culture of it. Obviously, it's not over, like I was just saying, those changes. It's over, not over beats, even though those do still happen though. There are events where it's like specific, and they'll have a whole event where it's like they're rapping over beats and shit, and but that's very rare. It's like maybe 1%, maybe 0.5% of this thing now. And yeah, the biggest changes though is just how big it's gotten, and then the changes that come with that when something is no longer a niche
Yeah.
sub thing. I mean, it still is. It still very much is. You still talk to people about battle rap and they'll be like, "What, 8 Mile?" Like, you're like, "Well, not exactly." But it's a whole world now. Like, I mean, there's people, we're getting flown out to different cities, and we're getting contracts and all that, blah 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 blah. The biggest changes are the cultural changes, where it's just now, like, these guys are stars now. You know what I mean? Like, people have followings and fan bases, and sometimes those fan bases get really really big, and sometimes those fan bases can get really, like, toxic, and people, have, like, whole armies of people on social media that are just fighting for you, and, like, people are causing drama and all sorts of stuff, and there's way more of a focus on, like, personalities and personal lives of, like, the actual artists, which is cool in a way, but it also has some kind of, funny,
Yeah.
side effects, I guess. Like, people be weird, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
People are weird. There's weird people. If you
it's
add the numbers, statistically, stuff's gonna happen.
that's what I'm saying. It just gets bigger, and and then there's more money into it. So that kind of, like, there's leagues and stuff. Like, like I was saying, I remember when you would just show up to an event and it was like that, But now there's leagues, and sometimes the league host and owner is a star themselves. You know what I mean? And sometimes they're a bigger star than the rappers that are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot, but it's a whole industry, is a world, and there's a whole world of, like, battle rap analysts and stuff now. You know what I mean? People have, YouTube channels with, like, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, and it's just people that talk about battle rap. It's not even a battle rapper. And so it's just really grown. The growth just has so many changes that come with it.
Yeah. Yeah. What a cool journey to, like, be in hip hop from, I guess, non-written freestyle, just kind of off the head talking about people, to multiple rap leagues with big stars and
Mhm.
battle rap analysts, right? It's like it's a fascinating journey that you've actually experienced in the flesh.
Yeah, I mean, I never expected it, to get this crazy, but I think it's beautiful. And I was really young when I started. I was like 15. I was like going to these events and signing up and rapping with all these grown people. I was taking my brother's ID and going to places that I wasn't supposed to be at. It was like battling, and that's how I got my name. So it is cool because I was so young then that I'm now like I'm still active,
Yeah,
and so yeah, it's an interesting thing.
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. You hinted at some new work coming, a new album. You've been dropping some singles. You have a really dope track out with Frack called Airplane Mode
Yes,
with a
sir.
real cool video. Can you
Yeah.
talk to us about the song and the video?
Yeah, definitely. That song is a part of yeah. Frack has kind of this series. It's called Foursquare, where he just collaborates with different artists and they just trade bars, and there's always usually kind of like a soft concept kind of a thing to the song, and that translates to the video. And yeah, he hit me up. He said, "Hey, let's do this," and he sent me the beat, and we knocked it out. And then he hit me a few weeks later and said, "Let's shoot the video. Let's get it. I'm getting a U-Haul and come out to the city, and we're gonna mess around." And it was cool. It was fun. And he actually came out to like the spot where I record at with the Woadies, who I'm working on this album with.
Oh,
And we recorded it over there. So yeah,
that's dope.
yeah,
Yeah, so
man.
he's got the U-Haul. You guys heard the U-Haul.
Yeah,
What a cool concept because the U-Haul is basically used as the set.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, that was definitely Frack's idea. Um, and it really was, I think we executed it pretty cool. And shout out to Carl who filmed it. You know what I'm saying? Videos on my page if anybody's seeing this one. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And yeah, it was really dope, man. Shout out to Frack.
Yeah, man. It's a dope track that you guys made. The back and forth is dope and the visual with it. You got another joint that you just released recently, which is the Wait a Minute, right? Talk to us about that banger.
Yeah, yeah. Wait a minute, is I hella like that song. I love it. That's produced by my boy Monty Draper. You know what I'm saying? My group mate and Grand National producer, rapper, songwriter, great guy overall. And I've been sitting on that beat for a minute,
Wow.
and then I just kind of like was just playing around and freestyled over it, and I sent him the voice memo of me like just kind of messing around. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I was doing that whole thing, and he was like, bro, that's it. That's exactly it. We go in there and knock it out. Took it to the Woadies, which the Woadies is a band, a group based out of Oakland. Songwriters, singers, musicians, producers. They put some hands on that. Bennett from the Woadies put some hands on the production on that song too, on Monty's beat. And yeah, man, I like that joint.
Are these, the tracks like Wait a Minute? Are they, part of a project you plan on releasing in 2025?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely I have a lot of music, and it's coming out. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely
That's
coming out.
dope.
And,
That's
and
dope. I'm sure we're all gonna. And you've got, between battles, right? Like battles, and you've got your rap off work. You've got a lot going on. So I know that it's, what I'm saying, hard to like. You certain things have times when they need to get done, and then other things kind of just keep getting pushed.
yeah, certain things have deadlines, and the music is not one of them. You know what I'm saying? Necessarily. I mean, besides just my own sort of personal
Right.
deadlines. But I'm really focusing on just dropping the songs for right now. I
Yeah.
have more singles. I have more visuals coming. I have visuals that I'm sitting on that are definitely coming out that we are just getting ready to drop. And yeah, man, I've been working with the Woadies on basically the whole album. Like Monty did Wait a Minute, but they have pretty much produced every other song on there. The album's like almost done.
Wow.
Um, uh, and so I got like a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be a lot of music coming this year.
That's dope.
And I'm really excited about it because Flowers was very, like you were saying, it's very vulnerable. It's kind of like a personal, it's kind of down tempo. And, so now I'm trying to do, some different stuff and see, play around with some different flows and ideas and tempos and sounds. And so, yeah, I'm excited for the people to hear it.
That's dope, man. I gotta ask you before I forget. In Flowers, the flowers in the beard. It's
Hmm.
so dope. It's so visually it makes anybody who sees that image look again. You know what I'm saying? And
Thank you.
yeah, nowadays we could do a lot of stuff with image generators and stuff like that, but those look like actual flowers.
Yeah,
There's something
absolutely.
about it. Did you actually put flowers in the beard?
Yeah, that's all real. That I sat there with a. Okay, yeah. First of all, shout out to Kevin Allen, also known as Irk the Jerk, legendary, super legendary rapper, hit singles, huge influence on Bay Area sound. You know what I'm saying? If you're familiar with Bay Area rap, you know Irk the Jerk. He's also an incredible photographer, also an incredible producer, singer. And so yeah, he shot that. I told him what I wanted to do. I brought in my homegirl Robin, who's a florist, and was like, "Yo, I want to put hella flowers in my beard. Like, can we do that?" And she's like, "I think so." And so I went to her and we did a little test where she started putting some flowers in my beard. She was like, "Yeah, we could do this." And I think it took maybe almost 2 hours of me sitting there for her to do it. And then every time I was standing up, it kind of started falling off a little bit. But yeah, it was cool.
How did you come up with that idea? I mean, did it just come to you?
Yeah, it really did. Like I did a song called Flowers.
Yeah, dope, dope ass song.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And give me, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. Give me my flowers. You know what I'm saying? It's such a true statement because we think we got forever, and we're reminded regularly, by people that are either famous that we look up to, or even people, in our circles, extended circles. We don't have forever, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's kind of the point. And yeah, so the way the whole album came together, really just real quick was I was working with Grand National, and at the time, Grand National really started as like a real big collective with many artists. You know what I'm saying? And we were all working together, and it was kind of Irk, Kevin Allen's brainchild. And while we had put out maybe like 2 projects by this point, and I was like, man, I gotta do one. I gotta do my solo, and I brought them like 4 or 5 songs or something, and it was Flowers, Nothing, um, and I can't remember what the other ones were right now, but it was like 4 or 5 songs, and they were just like, "Yo, these are crazy. Let's make this album." And
Yeah, they're like, you're up.
yeah, well, they were just like, "Yo," like they immediately started having ideas too, and they were like, "Yeah, let's do this," and dropped it maybe a year, like less than a year later, I think. And so the song Flowers immediately like as I started making more songs, that one was the one like that was like this is the album.
Yeah.
Like the album is Flowers. Like that's really what this album is. And I don't know, right away I was like, oh, I put hella flowers in my beard. You know what I'm saying? And it
Wow.
just to me, like I guess the flowers idea too is like about and the album is pretty dark, to be honest. It's very honest. It's very, um, it's low key on some sad boy shit. You know what I mean? But it's like about grief, but it's also like flowers represent grief, but also represent, um, like celebration and love and accolades and
Yeah.
admiration and that kind of a thing. So it's really like kind of like just and also like flowers or growth, like it's
Yeah.
so it really was that and it just really it just all made sense to me and it literally all that came to me like at once and it was like okay yeah that's the album and that's the album cover.
What a dope download. Yeah.
Yeah.
What an
Yeah,
amazing download.
it's a cool, yeah, that moment of discovery is what art is all about to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of talent that's come out of Oakland. It's such a special place.
Hmm.
In so many ways historically, but in hip hop and urban culture, it's had tremendous significance. It's like one of those places that like punches above its weight. You know what I'm saying? Like it has had tremendous social impact, cultural impact. Um, you've traveled across the country and you've been in hip hop for a long time. You've been to all the major hubs. You've been around big names. What can you tell us that's different about Oakland? What's the Oakland vibe in comparison to the
Yeah.
broader other places in hip hop itself?
Yeah, I mean, where do I begin? Like, I mean, honestly, it really did take traveling for me to appreciate. I mean, I always loved Oakland. I loved representing Oakland, and that, always meant everything to me.
Yeah,
And I always wanted to, like, sort of push this Oakland shit across, like, the country. That was a huge motivation. And I didn't really, it just traveling and actually doing that just made me appreciate, where I'm from and back home even more. Um, and I think that there's just so much game, to put it in a simple way, that
yeah,
comes from people from Oakland and the Bay Area. There's obviously like the slang. The slang is a representation of that. The slang is a side effect of the game. Like we just like talk really, really quick. We might
hmm
flip you a word that you never heard of before. You know what I mean? Like it might just make up some new slang that you finna take, and now that's your city slang. So much of slang has come from the Bay Area. Almost
yeah,
every slang has come from out here. Like
yeah,
from 40 and Keep the Sneak and Mac Dre and stuff like that. But there's also such a like what is I think underrepresented. Like when you think of Bay Area hip hop music, you finna think of like kind of fast tempos. You're gonna think of like kind of street music, like club street type music, and hyphy, for example. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You might think of like HBK or whatever. You might think of Lil B, which is kind of different. And shout out to Lil B, who's a legend. That's the homie. But what I think is not there's such a real like lyrical hip hop presence though too, that's always existed in the Bay Area that I think isn't always talked about, like hieroglyphics,
yeah,
for example. You know what I mean? Uh, Hobo Junction, Saphir, people like that, like living legends. Some of those guys are from the Bay Area and stuff, and there's a huge world. There's a world of that, and it's even bigger now. There's guys like Overcast and Michael Sneed and DiMaggio and us, Grand National, and Rex Life Raj. You know what I'm saying? Who I got on the album. And that's really pushing the line for not just like making a certain type of music, but really pushing the line for creative integrity and lyricism.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, going to other places is funny because people almost always immediately know. You know what I mean? I'll see somebody from the Bay or something in Atlanta or New York, and they'll immediately know. They'll be like, "You from the Bay? Are you from Oakland?"
They know.
Yeah.
Like 3 words in, like 3 words in.
I'm telling you, because it's just there's a certain thing, and people, when we go out to, and I hate saying this, you feel me, but it's definitely just true. Like if you're from the Bay Area, man. When we go to other places, it's like it's just different. You know what I mean? Like we alien, we a unicorn out there. It's just the truth. I always thought that was kind of some bullshit that people be saying, but after traveling so much, it's really the truth. You know what I mean? You could be in London and tell somebody you're from, a lot of it is being like Cali or
Yeah,
California, but once you put them on game, that really repping this Bay Area ism,
yeah,
and it starts getting different.
yeah, yeah. No, it is different.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I want to make sure that we give a little bit of space and cover and give its proper kind of unpacking to Grand Nation XL and how that came together, how that collective came together, who it is, what you guys are working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's Grand National. We just spell it with the XL, you know what I'm saying? But it is spelled GrandNationXL. You know what I'm saying? You can find that on all the platforms. We have a lot of music out there. Grand National was really, Irk the Jerk, also known as Kevin Allen. And that was his baby. That was his. He was just inviting people to the studio. There was no name for it at the time. Like he didn't even invite me. I invited myself. Like I just seen him, you know what I'm saying? I see him on Instagram and see him in the lab and I was like, yeah, I know where you at. Like, let me pull up next time, you know? And we were just making songs and it was like, we're making songs like 12 verses and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And just like
Wow.
trying to figure it out. And then him and some of the guys, like the producers and engineers, just sort of took like the best work and what made the most sense and put it all together and put a project out, Grand National, twice on Sunday. Um, uh, and you know, we're still pushing the line. We went on tour with Rex Life Raj open for him. It was like mostly like I think it was damn near all sold out. Like it might have been maybe two shows or something. It wasn't sold out all the way, but it was like 36 cities, went through hella states. Like we was driving all around the country. It was a beautiful experience. Um, and yeah, it's Grand National really represents collaboration. It represents sauce. It represents real musicality, real intentional production and presentation of music. What we do, we have so much music, and it's gonna come out, but it's all just about making it make sense and putting it out the right way. We put out Project last year, um, and yeah, we have a lot of music we still working, and all of us also are individually working on different projects. You know what I mean? Brookfield Deuce does so many things. He just coordinated, hella music videos for Dame Lillard, A&R Dame Lillard album, and was creative directing two short album cover that he just did, and everybody's doing a million things.
Yeah.
Within like our creative spaces, and so we're just pushing the line for creativity and trying to drop cool shit.
That's dope.
You
That's
know,
dope. It's great to have so much talent. You know what I'm saying? And around you.
yeah, man, it's extremely inspiring, and it's also like, damn, I gotta rap because they raw.
Yeah.
Man, so I'm like, damn, I can't. And they're very you'll be in a lab sometimes, and somebody might look at you and be like, yeah, do that again. You know what I mean? Or
Iron sharpens iron. Yeah. 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 That's dope, man. Thank you. Thank you for that behind the scenes, as to how it works in the studio. When we first opened up, we opened up talking about a moment that was viral. That I know I was sending it around. People were sending it to me. The AI human battle rap. But you've been a part of other ones. There's the NBA one, right? That was really good. Can you talk to us about maybe one or two that stand out to you as your favorite that you were a part of, or that got a lot of attention in regards to like the rap off?
yeah, I think the last Bleacher Report one that we did was just really fun, and it got a lot of attention. A lot of people shared it. A lot of big time people were commenting on it and stuff. It was a really cool experience when that got released. Um, Kraft cheese was just so fun. It was just so weird, you know what I mean? We're from like trying to rap as a slice of cheese.
That's the craft cheese versus fancy cheese.
Yes, yeah,
Hmm.
that is right. We did that. Shout out to my verse who played Brie Cheese, and it was yeah, that one was just so funny to me. I really enjoyed doing that one. Um, but this AI one, I know that one just dropped. I think that might be my favorite one, just because it's like kind of spooky a little bit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? and also just the fact that it went like mega ultra viral,
Yeah.
you know, and so in a way that I think we maybe weren't even expecting, and so that was really cool. Um, so yeah, it might be the AI one, but I didn't really write on that, so I might say that the craft one, as far as just the overall project that I just had fun doing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really dope. My bro, you got a big year coming up. A lot of music simmering and visuals that you've kind of told us, but I know that you want to roll everything out the right way. As we start to wrap up, anything that you want to make sure that people, have on their radars for you coming next, or they just dropped?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. I just dropped the single, Wait a Minute. It's out now. It's on all platforms. I have more music coming. I'm dropping something very soon. And I got more coming after that. You know what I mean? I would just say, just stay tuned in to my socials, Pass 510 on Twitter, Instagram, and yeah,
That's dope, my bro. Password,
yeah, right on.
it's an honor to have you on. You have such a storied career as a battle rapper, and it's beautiful to follow your career and see you moving into these new paradigms with social media and getting really creative as cartoon writer, voice actor, and taking the skill set, not only from the battle to the song, but from the song to actual visual content. So it's really dope to follow you on your journey, man. Godspeed on the new project that you all are working on, plus
Yeah,
your new albums and content. Hoping the dag just is as big as it can be.
thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you for having me on too. This was dope.
Yeah, my bro. It's an honor. Salute.
Right on, brother.
Peace.